Yeah. What's up? That's right. The Boston Source checking in this Sunday morning. Oh man, I've been looking forward to this one right here. It's been a minute since I've had the opportunity to interview this great young man here, as Jimmy Lennon Jr. sometimes says, a man who needs no introduction the world over, hailing from the great city of Philadelphia, trains many fighters and will fight anybody. And I mean, I'm gonna talk about that later too. On February 15th, though, Jonesboro, Georgia. Oh yeah, that's right. He's gonna be taking on Brian Norman Sr. on BLK Prime. That's right. It's
Yes,
the
sir.
man, Mr. GHB. Greg Hackett. What's happening?
I'm chilling, man. How you been?
Oh man, been good, man. Definitely been a while since been able to chop it up with you and everything like that. I know we're a
Yeah.
few weeks away here. Like I said, Jonesboro, Georgia, BLK Prime. You're going up against Ryan Norman Sr. And it's been a well anticipated fight. What's been your mindset over the past few weeks?
Just more so focusing on my body, like trying to get my body stronger. Um, just like just how we gonna approach the fight, all in all, like how we gonna like where we gonna place the shots, how we want to place them. You know what I'm saying? When we want to pick it up, when we want to slow it down. I mean, just going over game plan and all types of stuff. I feel good though.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, you got this thing, of course, with what have been starting up, and now you got the whole thing with the camp, you getting ready and everything like that. Plus, with your schedule as far as like working with other fighters and doing
Yeah.
your own thing outside the ring too. Now, I mean, you said like, quote, "There's no animosity here, but I will hate them for them 18 minutes we fighting." A
Yes,
lot of
sir.
people that talk, but they don't want to get in there. But
Yeah.
me and Brian Norman Sr., we're gonna get in there. Like you said, you've been training ever since it was pretty much official. You feel
Yep.
like he's going to press the issue because he's going to be the bigger man or whatever it is. But you said skill wise, you're the better fighter, much better fighter.
For
Like
sure.
going to that as far as like I mean, of course, we talked about what you've done over the course of your career, but you got Brian Norman Sr. here that's getting in the ring for the first time in a long time
Right.
to pretty much state it. So, like, talk about getting this fight and how it basically started up, and how it's like, hey, BLK Prime people gonna tune in and they gonna see Mr. GHB like do his thing.
I mean, it was just the same thing he was talking about with a lot of people. The fact that they was pulling out of I mean, not pulling out of the fight, but pulling out of negotiations with Boots. You know what I mean? They had us thinking the fight was going to happen, and then it didn't happen. But then after Boots fought, not Evanesian, what's his name,
Karen
Karen.
Kaji, yeah.
Yeah, after he fought him the second time, Brian Norman made a video where he was like, "I knew it. I knew it was this. I knew I saw this and that." So I was just asking him like, if you knew all that about Boots, why wouldn't you just let your son fight him then? And then he was like, that's when he tried to make it a financial thing. He's like, "Oh, that's because you don't understand business, and we trying to get as much money as we can and this and that." But we like, you making way more money than you just made, like, you know what I'm saying? So we feel like we just asking the questions we ask because we feel like the money is there after So he made some comments. We went back and forth. I put it out there that I would be willing to rumble if it was inside a ring in a parking lot. It didn't matter to me. So somehow they got in touch with BLK Prime. I get a call from them, and here we are.
Word, word. I mean, yeah, you talk about all that stuff in reference to Brian Norman Jr. and man, I'm like, come on, man. Like y'all already knew that y'all were locked in for a fight, at least at that time, there against Derek Quavers. So like you can't say you were talking about you were about to or you were trying to negotiate the fight boots for that fight when you already had a fight locked in through Top Rank. So I mean, I didn't understand that conversation initially, and then for senior to kind of like talk that talk, I'm like, see that's what ends up happening. Now it's like, hey, all right, you about that? Then let's see for sure, man.
For
So
sure.
that now you got that thing going down. Like I said, it's coming up February 15th on BLK Prime, man. And I'm gonna see here, man. I wanted to see if I could queue up something here real quick, man. Wanted to go back in the days or something. So I'm gonna see if I can pull this up here, man. Like now, this is coming from a good while back, right? This coming from a good while back. So let me see if I could pull this joint up here, man, and if you remember this joint. So I'm gonna see what we got here. All right, so here it is, right? I'm gonna go through this clip here. This is from 2020, man, and you'll talk about your first experiences. So I'm gonna run this here real quick. Let me see how it goes. Here we go.
Yeah.
So, all right, eventually I only had about amateur fights. I turned pro when I was 21. I turned pro when I was 21. So, from 13 to 21, I was amateur, you can say. Um, by the time 21, I already had my first son that I had when I was 20. Um, he was born with two. Um, I had no job at that point. And I remember I was bringing, like, I was in the gym, but I wasn't going hard. Because of my diet. I was 182 pounds. And I remember this, Vinoka Michael from the Blue Rising called down my gym to a manager named Robert Bryan. She asked him, did they have a 168 down there? She make a big deal. And I was like, yeah, I'll fight 68. I'm 5'6". I said, oh, you fight around 40. And then 35, 47 pounds, something like that. So I said, yeah. Like, it was a debut guy, Puerto Rican, Joel De La Paz, 2 week notice. I lost dropped 82, 2 weeks, 4 rounds, Blue Rising, very hot that night, but I was excited, had fun, lost on the cards. I was a little mad because I didn't feel like I got beat up or anything, but I understood the guy was a little bigger, more his weight class. Believe it or not, the doctor actually put me on a suspension list, ended up being suspended for 2 years after my debut. I didn't fight for 2 years after my debut because they said I had a butt burden. But I ended up going to 3 cardiologists. They all said I was okay. Came back after 2 years. My head is just up and down. It's always an up and down thing. But like my mood would be great, then boom, something happens.
Yo, that right there, man. Of course, that was like from 2020. When I was out there in Philadelphia, man, and you had that, for your pro debut, and then after that too, right? You had a recent post where you talked about being out there in Pittsburgh, for that particular fight, man, and that one,
Yeah.
you had like a real experience on that. So like, talk about that one too.
I mean, the one in Pittsburgh was my second bout, but I was coming off a suspension and I
Mhm.
was like I think I was like 217. And then when I got the call for the fight, I was about 210. So I had to drop from 210 to 168 in like 6 weeks. You know what I mean? Crazy shock to my body, but I was just so excited to be back in the game. I just wanted to fight. I ain't really care. So I'm telling them, like, yeah, I'm gonna drop the weight, whatever. Got the weight off. Like that shit was crazy though, to do that to my body. That was like 40 something pounds, you know what I mean, in a matter of
Yeah,
6 weeks. That was crazy.
that was much more than the joint there where you talking about, dropping 15 pounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. That was
So
wild.
yeah, that was wild for sure. Then he had that little atmosphere for that particular fight. So that was something right there. Before I go on, man, wanted to give a shout out to those in the live chat, man. Shout out to Jesus Sam in the building. Saludos to you, man. You got MMA and boxing addicts in the building. There, Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more in the building as well. Brother Lance is in there, man. So what's going on? What I think you got a couple caters on here, man. I don't know what are you talking about, man. I don't know what they got about on that one, man. Boy, now, the story about you is a fighter that's been brought up, over the past few months or pretty much a long time, man. On the BLK Prime channel, you just recently had that post where you explain what happens, man. And my question that is, at least you'll be able to explain it. Like, why do so many fans not understand that aspect of boxing as far as like taking fights and being like, hey, if I got this situation right here where hey, I'm working a job like you said, you getting paid about 800 for the job, but then you got this fight here that you could get paid 2,200. Why would I not take that 2,200? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's because ever since Mayweather, everybody think they know about boxing. That's one thing. Everybody think they know about boxing. Two, people think they smart. Everybody think they smart, and everybody like to think they make the right decisions. And there's no mistakes in life, and you can only live perfect. Like I don't know where they from, but I know where I'm from. If you get an opportunity at some legal money, we gonna take the opportunity at the legal money too. You know what I'm saying? If you've been doing things wrong all your life, and then you got a right way to do it, even though there's a winner and a loser, you still get paid. So
Mm-hmm.
why would I not go get the legal money? You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
easy. It's easy to go get the illegal money, but why would I not go get the legal money? You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't understand that. Like I don't, and then I don't understand like people. I know people who like they carry guns. They'll be quick to shoot somebody, but it's like you won't fight somebody. And then and you'll get paid for it. So I'm like, I never understood like how people think. I mean, some people say I'm crazy for the way I think, but I think fighting for legal money is a beautiful thing because all my
Mm-hmm.
life I fought for free in the streets. So why would
Yeah.
I not fight in the ring for money? You know what I mean? But people just, it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Hey, yeah, shout out to the baby out there. Hey, he wants to listen. He want to listen in to what's happening too. You know what I mean? But it's like he said, man. It's like 2,200 for like 12 minutes of work or something. I'm like, come on, man. That's too easy, man. That's too easy. You might as well get that. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
feel me? He said, Jesus Sim says, yeah, Norman missed out on the payday versus Boots Ennis. Yeah, he definitely missed out. And he just and yeah, hey, I don't know when he's gonna get that opportunity anytime soon. There, of course, you got Boots going up against Sandy on this April 12th there. So, man, what's up with this untouchable man talking about he's a Greg Hackett and Brian Norman is senior header? Come on, man. We come on, we shouldn't be doing that around here, man.
Some people would just be bored, man. They be bored. That's how they get their rocks off. They sit at the computer and just type shit.
Oh man, you say, hey man, you say, well, you ain't fucking with until you start acting like you a boxer with somebody. Come on, man. What are we doing, man? What you talking about?
But this is my problem with that when people say stuff like that.
Mm,
All of this is off of people asking me questions about boxing. That's it. Now I never said in the beginning, I never said, yo, I know everything about boxing. Listen to me. I never said that.
right.
It all started from a man asking me, what do I think about a fight? And me saying, I think it'll go this way, but if this happens, it'll go this way, yada yada. And there we go. So that's how people take stuff and they run with it and do what they want with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is all it is, all it's about is somebody asking me about boxing and people have an opinion on the things I say.
Yeah,
That's it. That's
yeah.
all it is.
But see, that's the thing though. That's why people respond to what you're saying, and I've talked about this many times before. Of course, you got your own channel and everything like that through YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that. And of course, you be on with conversations with our guy there, brother Jamil YSM Sports Media
Hmm.
there, and you see like every time, man, you have like a whole bunch of views when you on the camera. You know what I'm saying? So they
Hmm.
definitely want to hear what you talking about. So that's why you had that moniker right there. You said, "Hey, Mr. GHB, the face of boxing, right there." I mean, it is, right? Real quick though, now there was a period I think it was either last year, or a couple years ago, right,
Yeah.
where you were selling a service, all right, and the service was called Chinsurance. Now,
Yeah.
is that still on the market? Is Chinsurance still on the market?
For sure. Definitely. I'm working on some packages right now.
Yeah,
For
man.
sure.
Because you had the gear, man. You had some shirts that was going out and stuff like that too. So,
For sure.
so definitely, gotta get that back going on, man. It says here says like how long is Gray's training camp, man?
This one been, I think we had exactly like 6 or 7 weeks for this one. Probably
Hmm.
like 6 or 7. Yeah. It might have been 8. It might have been 8 to be honest. Like by the time the contract got through and all of that, and it
Mm,
was like real, and you seen that it was real, I think it might have been 8. Might have been 8.
word, word. So yeah, you got that time to properly prepare there for Brian Norman Sr. I know that what he said. Like I just got something where it has oh, hold up. He had you know what? I think something happened. There was somebody pressed a specific button that they weren't supposed to push. Oh man! So we'll have to see if GHB is going to be able to get back on here again because like we were seeing there when it was jumping on that we had his kid there, so taking care of his kid there and whatever it is, man because he's sports fanatic. I was about to pull up your question here, so I'm going to see if he's going to be able to get back up here pretty soon. But yeah, like once again, there, folks. Of course, we got Greg Hotshot Hackett that's going to be going up against Brian Norman Sr. at the Champion Boxing Gym in Jonesboro, Georgia. That's on BLK Prime. It's going to be on BLK Prime Saturday, February 15th there. So y'all be sure to catch that. All right, so here we go. We got Mr. GHB back here with us, man. We
Yeah,
got
I'm
Mr.
sorry. My daughter, she hit something on here.
I knew you pushed a button, man. I just knew it.
My bad, bro.
All right, so we got a sports fanatic on here because this is going on the thing there with the football joint there. And sports fanatic, you're gonna get the answer here. He asked, "Who's winning the Chiefs game today, fellas?" You
The
go ahead.
Bills for sure.
The Bills, man. He said the Bills is gonna win. The Bills is
Yeah.
gonna win there. So yeah, definitely there. That's the thing. Mr. GHB is a Bills fan, so he gonna be tuning in for that AFC Championship game. He got the Bills there, Josh Allen in there taking care of business. You see,
Sure.
they were untouchable when he says Greg Hackett will get in the ring, and a lot of dudes won't. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And that goes into what we were talking about. It's like, hey, listen, like you said in that conversation, I'll fight you, I'll fight him, I'll fight everybody in here except for the women that's in here. Because hey, listen, like you said, hey, if I'm gonna get paid to fight, I'm gonna do it. I don't care. Shoot, if I was
Yeah.
doing it for free, I'm gonna do it for money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like,
I don't
what?
understand.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It said Jesus them there says called out Brian Norman Jr. Well, we'll see what happens with all that. I mean, that might be the route for Brian Norman Jr., but we'll see that. But also, like I was talking about, not only you've been there as a fighter, but you've been a trainer there, over the years. You've been a head trainer for multiple fighters, and chief second for a lot of others out there. Now,
Right.
what has stuck out to you over the years, being a trainer to so many fighters, and what you've learned there, being in the corner of them?
You just, I mean, it's crazy because every fight is different. Every atmosphere is different. Like you could go into a PBC atmosphere, but depending on what fighter you with, the
Mhm.
vibe is different. You know what I'm saying? You could go to a top rank atmosphere, but the vibe is different depending on what fighter you with. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's like you just learn who to deal with, who do what, and like who's important to what part of the business. Like, you know what I mean? You just learn so much, man. You learn so much about the game. um, I think the biggest thing I learned about myself is that I am very composed under those pressures or what people see as pressure. You know what I mean? Fights being on TV and all that type of stuff. I never really think about that type shit. When I'm
Mhm.
going to war, like I'm not even thinking about the TV. I'm not thinking about the lights. I'm not thinking about the crowd. And I think that's why, you know what I mean, it come kind of easy to me. You know what I mean? And I think over the years, even with my experiences, a lot of people like, oh, well, you should be further along. But it's like, yo, I was in my 20s when I got my first like head coaching job in a 10 rounder in California, yeah, on a card in Fantasy Springs uh resort and
So,
casino.
yeah.
Like I had a 10 round fight. I think I was like 26. I'm coaching a 10 round fight, a main event, two bantamweight guys. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bro, I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? So I was, and like I said, every time you go back, it's different. It's different. and you gotta be strict. You gotta be strict on who you train around, who you talk to. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Things like that. You'll have people offering a hand to help you, but really they trying to spy on you. They trying to see what you got going on. They might be
Mhm.
secretly recording you, all types of shit. Like you'll go like these people when you go to different cities and shit, they know it's your first time here, and they like, yo, you can come train at my gym. The whole time, the dude you fighting is from that gym, or he might be cool with them people. Like, so you got to
Yeah.
be on top of a lot of shit in boxing. Like, you got to pay attention to a lot of shit. That's
Yeah.
why sometimes it seems like trainers and shit like they not paying attention or they don't know something because there's so much other shit you got to worry about. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And people don't understand that. People don't understand how competitive the sport is and how competitive the trainers are. You know what I mean? Things like that.
Yeah.
So with
Yeah.
me, I learned a lot, man. Like I learned a lot. You know what I mean? I gained respect from people. I earned a lot of respect from people. You know what I mean? It was just a great experience, and I'm still young. I'm 38. You know what I mean? I'm still rolling, so having fun.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you had a couple of experiences when in our conversation that we had back in, I think that was what, like June. It was like June there whatnot of 2020, right? Well, yeah, like July actually. And then boxing started to pick back up, but the thing was, it was like you had to go into the bubbles and the bubbles and everything like that.
Yeah,
So if you work with a fighter that had to be in that joint, then you had to go through that same little
yeah,
protocol. By the time you hit the airport, you landed from a flight, you had to go straight to the hotel. After you hit the hotel, you go straight to the room. You couldn't
yep,
do shit. Like
yep,
I'm talking about, you had to stay in that room. It was like, man, it was like motherfucking house arrest, goddamn it. Like you couldn't do a motherfucking thing up in there,
yep.
man.
It
So,
was only it was only one time when we went out there because I went out during the bubble. I went out 4 times,
mhm.
and I went twice with Rel and his son, little Sheen.
Coach
And
really,
the
yeah, yeah.
and the second time we went out with Sheen, that was the first time, like after the fight, you could go out. Like the first couple times I went out there with Sheen, Josephat, Paul Crow, you couldn't go out at all. You couldn't
Hmm.
go out at all. But the second time with Sheen, when we went out after the fight, you allowed to go to the strip, and I mean, people was out, people was having dinner, doing
Yeah.
doing what they do. But it was still kind of like you had to wear the mask and all of that. I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. But yeah, I mean, it still was a great experience, but it was a more intimate experience because it wasn't so many people around.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, you had them fights where there was like no crowds, no nothing. Sometimes
Yeah,
they had like audible noise or something, to get
yeah.
something like it was a simulated fight almost. That's what it like seemed like out there sometimes,
Yeah,
with that. But
it was the first time you could like the fight was happening, but you could hear the commentator talking. Like you could
mhm.
hear him clear. Like that was the first time I seen that.
Yeah, yeah, that was wild. That was definitely wild. Now, as a follow up on that, like one quote that you kind of reposted was from Stephen Bradman Edwards
Yeah,
about like how a lot of trainers are treated in the boxing business, and
yeah,
coach, you definitely agree with that. Can you expound on that? And is how like the thing with trainers is, as he kind of like said that sometimes they deal with fighters and either they could get shortchanged or something else may happen or whatever it is. I mean, one of the big stories from the past year and a half was about a big fight that took place in 2023, and then afterwards one of those fighters had a little spat of sorts with his head trainer. So
yeah.
yeah, expound on that there a little bit.
I mean, people don't think that it happens, but it happens because the how the relationship is with fighters. You most of the time when you hook up with a fighter, it's a guy come to see you, call your phone, he lets you know he interested in you being his trainer. Y'all hook up to see how the chemistry works. Once the chemistry works, y'all might even be close, like a father and son or brothers or something like that, right? But what happens is the money, once the money start to pick up, people start to get in between the money because everybody looking to
Yeah.
make a dollar. Everybody looking to make a dollar. So you start getting all these people around you who really don't understand what's happening inside the ring, but they know. you get into some money. So they trying to figure out a way to get their piece. So they might even like try to sway you against your trainer, or they might try to say, "Oh, you
Mhm.
paying him too much," or anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Fighters have learned to use trainers because you're not gonna be able to use your manager unless your manager just he gonna let you just do whatever.
Mhm.
And you're not gonna be able to use the promoter because promoter trying to use you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Your trainer the only one that's really there for you and been there for you. So you gonna end up using him because he the closest one to you. He easy to move around. I mean, everybody else you can't move around like you want. So that's why our trainers get treated like that. Also, though, a lot of trainers go for that type shit though. I mean, if you
Mhm.
go for it, if they know that you gonna go for little shit like you gonna shortchange yourself, of course they gonna have you come out to a camp and do a camp and then pay you $5,000 or some shit like that. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And or tell you they can only give you a certain amount of money because they got to pay other people and all this type shit. You know what I mean? It just depends on what you go for. That's all.
Word.
I mean, trainers don't have to go through some of the shit they go through, but some of it is because to the people who like the promoters and the managers, they think they know best sometimes. Sometimes a manager will try to put a fighter with a trainer who they would never mesh, they would never click. But
Word. Yeah.
but because that trainer is going to report to the manager the way the manager want him to, that's why he gonna put that fighter with him. Cause he
Now,
gonna call me and tell me everything.
I think there was a recent example of that in July. No, that was August 3rd, the fight in August 3rd, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you're not necessarily gonna uh be 100% certain of this, but we had a heavyweight fight that took place August 3rd where a young undefeated fighter was coming into that fight
Right.
that had a new trainer after having a trainer that he's had for his whole career from amateurs to pros up to that point. And
Right.
then all of a sudden for this fight, you change the trainer to somebody that in the biggest fight of your career, and this is like your the first time that you're working with this trainer. Like it didn't
Right.
really make much sense on that. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So, but yeah, like you said, that's type of stuff that happens is like manager could get in the ear of a fighter and say, hey, you need to roll with this guy,
Yep.
for this particular fight, and that could happen in that sense. Now, also recently you had posted, okay, like this big news right here that you signed with Boots Promotions. Yep, that's right. You have 3-fight deal there with Jamal
Yes,
Boots
sir.
Gillis, man. Yeah, it's on, it's cracking, man. Like, talk
Yes,
more about
sir.
working with Boots and his promotional company.
It was just something simple, man. Yeah, I mean, me and him talked at the gym, and of course it was my idea, and then
Yeah.
he kind of was like that ain't a bad idea. You know what I mean? Because you never know what would have happened from here on out. You feel me?
Hmm.
You see, he didn't have nothing to do with the negotiations for the fight with Norman, but you know what I
Right.
mean, after seeing that get made and then seeing the kind of traction it's getting, it's like shit, why not? You know what I mean, so me and him come to a couple agreements and just something simple. It's not nothing like like extra. Like and that's not a lot of paperwork and shit like that. You know what I
Right.
mean, just
You're
something
right.
simple. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
no doubt. Of course, y'all been around for a long time and everything like that. Like
Hmm.
you said, you see like what was going down, between you and Brian Norman Sr. So it's like, hey man, I gotta get Mr. GHB on the team. I gotta get him on the team there. So
Hmm.
y'all were able to work something out there with that. Like we were saying here, back on the main topic here. Of course, Greg Hackett going up against Brian Norman Sr. there, man. At pretty much like they're in Atlanta. It's gonna be on
Yeah.
BLK Prime. Y'all better not miss it. Saturday, February 15th, man. It's going down. It's going down. Oh, also, man, they should have tickets there available for that. If anything, so y'all hit up the social medias. Y'all hit up Mr. GHB himself there for information on tickets, and also he has a thing there where he's looking for sponsors, man. You want to get like advertisements on the trunks there. He's gonna be out there, with the gear in the trunks. You want to be part of that. You could hit up Greg there in reference to all that too. So y'all look him up for all that. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna repost that too on the Instagram stories there, so that those that are interested in being a part sponsor there for your event there on BLK Prime, they can hit you up on that. There's gonna be a bunch of fights that are on that card, man, or at least scheduled on that card, man. I'm trying to look at this joint right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Man, they got 12 fights on that joint, man. So
Stop.
definitely gonna be a lot there.
Yeah, that's a good card.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think it got what Ishmael's on there too, right? Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
him and
Ishmael's on
Dennis
there.
Thompson. Yeah.
Yeah, Dennis Thompson. Yeah, so definitely going to have a great card there, great time there. Outside of Atlanta, there's a little bit. You going like what is I-75 a little bit south down there from Atlanta. You'll be able to get there and everything too. So it's
Mhm.
gonna be a good event, man. I know that like you said, at least when this particular fight was put together, that Brian Norman Sr. really didn't say that much there, but he says like he's out there working with his son Brian Norman Jr. Of course, he's in the corner for Brian Norman Jr. Up to the point there where he's now the WBO champion at 147. But like I
Right.
was mentioning before with Brian Norman, he has been a good while since he's been in the ring there professionally there. So
Yeah.
what are you going to show him here on February 15th?
I mean, like I keep saying, I'm just going to capitalize off of his mistakes, the things that he do wrong or he overdo. I'm just gonna make him pay for those things. You know what I mean? I really can't try to go in there and force a knockout. That don't make sense. I mean, you always learn, in the game, you don't chase knockouts. You know what I'm saying? You chase a knockout, something bad to happen. So I'm not gonna chase the knockout, but if it presents itself, I definitely will finish. I will finish him.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It is definitely gonna be an exciting bout there. Like I said, it's scheduled for 6 rounds. I got it for the light heavyweight division. So and we got that thing going on too, man. And we were mentioning this here a little bit earlier. You're there, with your daughter now recently celebrated a birthday, and
Yep.
also, when I pull up that conversation from 2020, and you were talking about your pro debut, right? And
Hmm.
at that time, you were just, getting yourself ready to go from, amateur to pro, but you also, had a son back then,
Yeah. Yeah.
fast forward. And what is he now? Like he recently had a birthday himself.
Yeah, he 18. So my oldest son and my daughter, who is my youngest, their birthday is a day apart, January 9th and January 10th.
Mm. Mm, yeah. So now, like, man, now he's up there, all grown up and everything like that. Very
Yeah.
much finished high school and everything. So he about transitioning there too, man. So that's definitely a milestone of sorts there for you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Now you'll talk about, of course, being a trainer and things like that, and talk about being part of the fight game and everything like that. Now, one of the things though is that you have, like, this is one of the things that people follow you for, right? And you talked about it earlier as far as like what you think about fights. Now, there's one thing though. Now I've had a conversation, a couple conversations there, right, in the past,
Hmm.
but one of the more popular videos that I've had here recently was my conversation with Floyd Schofield Jr. and Floyd Schofield Sr., right?
Yeah.
And the thing is like, a lot of people be talking about Floyd Schofield Sr. because he really be, as some people say, all up in the videos, according to some people there, man. But
Right.
he has that thing February 22nd, Floyd Schofield Jr. against Shakur Stevenson. But one of the things that came up was when they had a press conference for it, they didn't even have Floyd Schofield Jr., Floyd Schofield Sr. in it. And
Right.
I heard what they were talking about with it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know about all that. Like passport
Yeah.
drive, I don't know about all that. So man, I don't know. What do you think about this? Is Shakur gonna show out on Floyd Jr. there?
I think the whole thing, them not going is just them not wanting to be there, to be honest. I think they want to be 100% locked in on the fight. Shakur is the favorite for a reason. Shakur is sharp. You know what I mean? He's a hell of a fighter. He's been tested on a world-class level. Schofield got a lot of work to do, and he knew it. That's why I said I don't think he pulled up for that for that the ceremony. I
Mhm.
mean, but I think the kid is coming to fight. But I do think Shakur gonna win by decision.
Yeah, and the thing with Floyd Jr. Yeah, recently that I found out before that conversation was like he's now working with Floyd Senior and Antoine Guzman too, instead of
Mhm.
like Coach Ronnie Shields, because he used to have Coach Ronnie Shields as the chief second. Now they switched up there a little bit, so I'd be
Yeah,
interested to see how that all goes there with things like that too. So I had to figure how they're gonna work it out there against Shakur Stevenson that's coming back from having hand surgery and everything like that too, man. You also have what's coming up, like I said, on Saturday. You got David Benavidez versus Damon Morrell Jr. there, man. That's gonna be a hot fight there at the light
yes,
heavy
sir.
division though. And I've kind of like dissected that fight a few times here and there, man. I think the styles kind of mesh pretty well though.
Hell yeah.
Uh and of course, you got there on the co-feature a rematch there with Brandon Figueroa and with Cool Boy Steph. So
Right.
what you got on that?
Which one you want me to start with?
I'll start with Cool Boy Steph fight.
Oh, I mean, listen, with a guy like Figueroa, you know you don't have to go looking for Figueroa.
Mm-hmm.
Figueroa is gonna be right in your face. He gonna step to you. I think Cool Boy just gotta be ready, but not just
Mm-hmm.
be ready, but be a little bit smarter this time. Try not to get caught up in those rumbles with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make him work by making him think. So whenever you do touch him and you step around him, you know what I mean? Make sure you don't finish in front of him. Make sure you're moving your head. Make sure you're not pulling straight back. Things like that. I think Kuboy will be fine. I think he'll be just fine because this is a guy you already beat. So don't go in there and try to mess with your brain about, oh, maybe I should have been doing more of this. Maybe should have. All of that is done. We here. It's fight night. Let's work. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I think he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think some have kind of brought up the part about him moving up to 126 as if that would be a difference. But yeah, like you said, it's the style that he's seen already, he's defeated already. So he's definitely comfortable and confident in this fight coming up on Saturday.
Come
And then
here.
like I said, with the main event there with Benavidez versus Morrell, that one is going to be a definite barn burner right there.
Right. That fight is going to tell us a lot about both fighters, but mainly more about Morrell because we know Benavidez. We seen what Benavidez can do. We seen it look like when he having a hard time. We seen him
Hmm.
in there with guys we thought was going to be awkward. We seen him in there with guys we thought was better boxers. You know what I mean? I think this fight right here is the pressure is really on Morrell. You know what I mean? We know Benavidez. We know what he brings to the table. Um it's going to be a great fight for sure. You know what I mean? But I think the test is going to be for Morrell more than it is Benavidez. I think Benavidez just going to be himself and just try to be his best self. But Morrell, we don't know what's going to happen because we never seen him in a hot kitchen before. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So we don't know how he going to react.
Yeah. I mean, he's been part of big events before, and he's like headlined a couple of events before, but it's not been
Yeah,
at this particular atmosphere, having a big
no.
crowd there, and him headlining a big event that's a pay per view event right there.
Yep.
More be here later as far as more questions, real quick. But got B3 in the building. There it says like, did they set a weight limit for the fight there on February 15th?
Yeah, me and Norman basically fighting at cruiserweight. Nobody could come in over 200 pounds.
Yeah. So there you go. So like that's gonna be the weight limit there around 200 pounds, or there around the cruiserweight division, on that front there. So yeah, but the February 1st, Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena, you got those two bouts there. That's something there that definitely looking forward to. And I wanted to touch on the joint there with March 1st, Tank Davis versus Lamont Rose Jr. There,
Yeah,
two guys, there, of course, Tank from Baltimore, Lamont Rose Jr. there from DC area and everything like that. So
yep,
definitely got the local thing going on there for the Barclays. But it's like a lot of people sleep on Lamont Rose Jr. and what
yeah,
he's done not only as a pro but as an amateur. and that these guys competed in the amateurs before. So
Right.
like it's gonna be a real, like, people are gonna be surprised about what's gonna go down on March 1st. At least I feel that way.
Right. And I think that's another thing going on with the sport. We got a lot of people who are like fans of popular people. Like people, it's so many Tank fans out here that don't know about boxing, and fans that don't know about boxing, period, that they disrespect a guy like Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach is the real champion at 130 pounds. Not only that, dude, they know each other. You know what I mean? It's actually a fight where I really feel like this guy's not scared of Tank. He's not afraid of Tank, and he gonna go in there and give his best effort. Now, that don't mean he gonna beat Tank, but it's not gonna be what we saw the last few fights where you got guys flinching, you got guys scared to
Yeah.
throw. When they do throw, they're not giving they all into the shots because they thinking about getting hit afterwards. You know what I mean? Things like that. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be a smart fighter. You should be a smart fighter. But the thing is, man, we never seen nobody just go toe to toe with Tank,
Mhm.
or just outbox Tank. And that's what I think Lamont Roach gonna bring to the table. I think he gonna be willing to outbox him and go toe to toe with him. But will he get the win? I can't say, but I think this is gonna be a great fight. For sure.
Yeah, you made a great point there. It's like a lot of fans like disrespect Lamont Roach Jr. With this fight coming up, and Tank already said like, hey, this ain't a guy that I could underestimate or play around with. So
Right.
he's gonna be definitely focused there for that fight on March 1st and everything. With that,
Right.
so definitely looking forward to that and how that's going down there. Now I'll be talking more about that here later on down the line, but the last one on this joint here was they just announced the thing there with a co-feature with Ryo versus Gary Antoine Russell.
Yeah.
And I talked with Gary Antoine, a couple of days ago in reference to getting himself prepared for this because he's coming off of the close fight he had with Alberto Puello. So he definitely knows there's a lot on the line with that one. So
Right.
what you got on that there, real quick?
I mean, the hold on. I felt like you asked me two questions. What's the one we talking about? I'm sorry.
With Ryo
Oh,
Valenzuela
Ryo
against
and
Gary,
Venezuela.
yeah,
Right.
against Gary Antoine.
I think this fight, there isn't a favorite. There isn't a favorite in this fight. They both been through adversity and they both trying to really go somewhere. The thing is, Ryo, he tasted his success a little bit earlier than Antoine Russell with the belt. But I
Mm-hmm.
also feel like Antoine Russell didn't lose that fight to Puello. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was a close fight, but I didn't feel like he lost. So I kind of feel like Antoine Russell gonna be fighting almost like redemption on his mind. You know what I'm saying? He really trying to go in there and hurt something because
Mm-hmm.
he feel like they owe him something. You know what I mean? Y'all jerked me out of the first belt, but okay, I'm gonna get it this time. At the same time, Ryo's been through a tough road. Ryo took some losses early. You know what I mean? He been through some crazy situations, but
Mm-hmm.
now he's here. You know what I mean? And he had to go up and wait to do it. So the fact that the fact that he still made it through his storm, and then Gary Antoine made it through his storm, I think that's gonna make this fight way better. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like a war because I think it's about 50-50 in my eyes.
Yeah, word, word. I mean, you got Ryo, of course, he'll coming off, like you said, his win over a Pitbull Cruz to become world champion. And yeah, I didn't feel like Gary Antoine lost that fight against Alberto Puello either. And he
Right,
said that he definitely wants that get back with Puello, after having this fight here with Ryo Valenzuela. So definitely
right,
want to see, how he performs here against a Ryo. And I think that the styles like mesh pretty well to, have there be an all action fight. So definitely, looking forward to that there. But wanted
for
to
sure.
get that in here before I was able to finish up here with this conversation. We'll be catching up with you here later on down the line, man. But
For
had
sure.
to have you go out there, like I said, you're there with your daughter and everything like that. And later tonight, of course, the Bills gonna be in action here against the Chiefs. So
Right.
we can't necessarily have these referees or whatever it is. So try to pull them for this stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So definitely get you prepared for what's going down tonight. And yeah, we're definitely looking forward to, of course, what's going down on February 15th. the face of boxing, Mr. GHB, Greg Hackett, in the building. He's going to be facing Brian Norman Sr. there in Jonesboro, Georgia. Y'all be sure to buy it on BLK Prime. Y'all gonna be in for a treat there on BLK Prime, seeing Mr. GHB in action there. Big thanks for spending the time here on the Boxing Source once again, man. And like I said, I'll catch up with you real soon before the fight go down.
No problem, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, no doubt, y'all. Hey, peace out, everybody.